Why so many women, especially, us women of color, are in our 30s and 40s and still not married? Like, even for me, like, I'm 39, I'm getting ready to be 40 in a few months. And it has been on my heart. Like, I never would have thought that I would have been 39 and still single, not married. Like, this has been like one of the hardest things, like, for me to cope with, because I do want to be a wife. I do want to be a mother. This is something that I just really have always wanted, my entire life, ever since childhood. But I'm noticing that there are so many women of color, who are in their 30s and 40s and still not married, never have been married. Some of us have had prospects, been engaged, and we broke it off because it just didn't work. The relationship didn't work. But I just wonder, like, deep down inside, what is the reason that so many of us are not married? Is it because some of us are truly, like, difficult to get along with? I know that's the persona that they say about Black women, that we are difficult to get along with. But does that have truth to it sometimes, y'all? Sometimes it can be true. Are we difficult to get along with? Are we just too picky? Is it because we want men who have six-figure salaries, and some of us don't even make six-figure salaries, but we have their requirement to be able to be with a man? Is it because some of us are just merely, like, just selfish, and we want everything in a relationship to go our way and our way only? Is it because we have this fairy tale of how marriage is supposed to be, where the man is the only one who should pay all the bills, and we don't do anything? We can just keep our money, save our money, and just do whatever we want with our money? Or is it because some of us truly just don't want to even listen to a man?
Well, it could be many of those things. All of those are very valid reasons that she's given, but also, that we outnumber the man. So, unfortunately, ladies, there's going to be some of us that won't get a husband.
Welcome to the pressure cooker.
Yeah, it's a lot of single women out there in their 30s and 40s and just they ain't married. And but I think I contribute that to you just looking for the perfect guy. You looking for the perfect guy. You keep riding on this thing about settling. I don't want to settle and all this stuff. And majority of the time, you settle anyway. Oh, that's what that is. Because majority of the women, if you can put on makeup and put a wig on and look decent, there's a guy out there that'll probably marry you. Now, he might not be the greatest guy, quality guy in the world. He might not have what you think he's supposed to have or whatever, but there's a guy that you could get married to that would be decent or whatever. And a lot of times, you live in your own head. You live in this fairy tale world that of what you think you deserve so much. Like, I've deserved to have a man that's put together a certain kind of way based on what I think people will, how others will see me and how people will feel about me. So I think that's what happens to a lot of women, because a lot of the single women, they're not ugly women. They're not ugly women. Oh, they're
Also,
very marriable.
I also think that women need to also take into consideration. You're taking into consideration that you're 39 going into your 40s, but also look at how many men are prepared to be husbands at that age. I find that a lot of men in their 30s heading into their 40s don't even have their stuff together. To be honest with you, most of the men that have their stuff together, financially, emotionally, mentally, are a little older. Unfortunately, they're 45 and older. And so, yes, are they still able to marry? Yes, they can marry down to somebody that's in their 30s, but at 39 and 40, can you start a family with a man? Biologically, will you be able to produce children and give him the children that he need? Because a lot of these men, they were raised by the single mothers, and they still being nurtured. Some of them still living at home with their moms. They had kids when they were in their early 20s and they got child support issues. They still haven't quite got themselves together financially, mentally, and emotionally because of the mistakes they made very young. And at that age, they're still not ready for marriage. So do you want to marry someone that's not together at that age? So you're looking at, you're ready and you've done the things you've done, but men that are between 30 and 45, are they financially stable and ready to be husbands?
Well, just because you think you got your stuff together don't mean you got your stuff together. And it just doesn't have to be financial. It can be mentally,
that's what I
emotionally.
said, all those areas.
You might have had guys that would have married you. They just don't want to be tied down to you because they see how you are. They don't want that to be, imagining being with your ass for the rest of their life. They just don't want that. They just don't want to be dealing with you like that. And all the guys see it, except you don't see it in yourself.
And she said that it could be, your selfish ways. You want
you
a man
unlivable.
With some of those
they
things,
can't
all
live
those
with
things
you.
could be an issue. And some of the guys ain't stable, because if you've had some bad relationships with women who were young and you got kids with these women and you're in the system and going through all that headache, it's like, man, do I want to take on a wife? Because look what I done been through. A lot of these guys are abused by the time they get to their late 30s and 40s by having kids young,
Yeah, that's true. But think about this. You 40 years old. So that give you 20 years. We'll just say you started at, we're going to go with 20. So that give you 20 years of dating. All the men you dated
in 20
years ain't had their stuff together. So it could be either you keep dating guys that don't have their stuff together because that's who you attract, and I ain't gonna attract. That's who you like. That's who you like. If you a man, let's put it like this. If I approach all ugly women, guess what kind of woman I'm gonna end up with? If I only approach women with big breasts, guess what kind of women I'm gonna be with?
But she made a point when she said the guys with the six figures and stuff. Like, how many guys between the ages of 20 and 40 got making six figures?
There you go.
Already. That's what I'm saying. You have unrealistic expectations for guys that are that young. Like, how many guys? Let's take the 20s out. How many guys? Because that means you had to prepare in your 20s to be making six figures in your 30s. How many guys in their 30s are making six figures?
Well, listen.
If they're not an athlete or
maybe. So go back to what I was telling you. Let's go back there. So I'm a man. I want a woman that's cute with big breasts. So the only women, when I go to on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, them the only women I'm going to approach. Guess what's going to end up happening eventually? So if you only talking to guys that make six figures, that's probably what you're doing. You're only dating and want to be serious with guys that make a certain amount of money, that look a certain way.
And you may not appeal to those guys.
You're striking out every time.
Yeah,
you can't pull them. It's not them, it's you. You can't pull it off. Your ass, it's something about you to where guys don't see themselves with you at for the rest of their life. They don't want to be tied down with you. That's the problem. It ain't that you can't find a good man. You can't find a sufficient man. You can't find a man that will love and cherish you. You can't find a man that will provide for you. You want a certain type of guy. Those are the guys that you get and that you probably don't qualify, or you just can't pull it off. You might qualify with that, but you don't know how to pull it off. You can't find a guy like that. I'm not going to say that you never will, but you can't. And at this point, you still think you can. That's why your ass is still single, still wish, hoping, and trying. That's all it boils down to. That's all it boils down to. It ain't got nothing to do with these guys this, these guys that. It's your ass, see a certain type of man. That's all you deal with. And that's why you in the situation that you in.
Unrealistic expectations.
Exactly.
Kevin and Caprice. Let's talk relationships.